Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
I'm actually skipping the news instead because it's Ahsoka Day and nobody's gonna watch a news video anyway.
And no Ahsoka spoilers for today's episode because we haven't seen it yet. We will be watching it in about an hour from right now.
But what I am going to talk about is I'm dubbing this questions from the comments or responding to comments from our comments. We do that sometimes.
I do that quite a bit, yeah. I have a whole video series where I do that.
Yeah, but this is me doing it, so it's
I think we
new
could
and
do
special.
more of this,
and cool.
actually.
There were a couple of interesting comments that I kind of noted while I was looking through the ones from a video was yesterday, I believe. And I thought there'd be some interesting things to explain. One of the first things I saw was, does Ahsoka even know what happened with Anakin? That he was redeemed?
I would imagine yes.
This is a problem with Disney canon. It's like if you haven't watched everything, you don't know what's going on. I can assume, because of Book of Boba Fett, that she would know.
Yeah, because we see Luke and Ahsoka together. We don't know what they talk about, but
how could they not?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're assuming that there's some kind of conversation about what happened on
you're
Death
Luke
Star
Skywalker?
number 2.
I knew an Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker, that was my father. Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure
he
it
was
didn't
Vader.
happen
Well,
like
I
that.
saved him.
I'm sure Ahsoka heard the name Luke Skywalker and sought him out.
Probably.
I mean, she knew about Padme and Anakin, kinda. She probably knew Padme was pregnant, so she probably put it all together and figured out that someone named Luke Skywalker, who is a very powerful Jedi who helped the rebellion defeat the Empire, could very well be the son of Anakin and
I
met
feel
up
like
with him.
that's why a lot of fans were kind of upset when we saw Book of Boba Fett. We saw their meeting and them talking, but we know that wasn't their first conversation, which is what we would love to have seen.
Yeah, it was kind of a strange thing to give us this after the fact.
Yeah, we don't even know how many times they've met since then or
Yeah.
hung out.
We don't know how long she was there, why
No.
she was there. I mean, we can assume if Book of Boba Fett is between Mando Season 2 and between Ahsoka here, that she asked Luke for help with Thrawn or
But
told
we have,
him or
yeah,
what.
we have no idea what happened because we were not ever shown what happened.
No.
There's no explanation, there's no novel, there's no comic, there's nothing to say what they talked about, but we can probably safely assume that one of their conversations was definitely about Anakin Skywalker.
Absolutely, and what happened in the end.
Which is why it's definitely not out of bounds to say that she totally knew his story.
Yeah, I think she knew he came back in the end. Whether he told her all the details about what they, said to each other and how it all went down, I'm not so sure about that. But he certainly said in the end he gave his life. Anakin, my father, Anakin, your master, came back and tossed old Palps down a well.
I don't know if he said that, but...
No, and it wasn't a well, but you get the point.
Alright, the next comment I kind of looked at and was interested in was on the knighting of Ahsoka, because we kind of were making the bold
Assumption,
statement here that this is Ahsoka being finished her training. She's back as a Jedi at this point in time.
Yes.
And I saw a couple of comments that were kind of like, well, was she ever really not a Jedi? And are we going to be picky about quote-unquote knighting ceremony type thing?
No.
Because Filoni was really picky for some reason. He had an interview in like March or something where he was really picky about Luke, saying that Luke was never
that's
officially
right.
knighted.
Yeah,
But no, he wasn't officially knighted. He wasn't like down on his knees getting knighted. But he did become a Jedi.
He proclaimed himself one
Not
when
even
he tossed the saber away. And he passed the trial that Yoda had set forth for him.
right, and it's
So
about
it's a
passing
double
the
whammy.
trial more than just having
Yes.
some
It wasn't
ceremony.
it wasn't like he could just proclaimed himself one whenever he wanted. Yoda said, "Okay, you got to go face Vader again. You got to face your father again. You do that, and you're a Jedi."
Well, Yoda
Luke
even
did
said,
that.
"When I'm gone, Last Jedi, you know."
He did what he was supposed to. He chucked his saber away and said, "Haha, Palpatine, I'm a Jedi. You screwed up. You failed."
When Luke said, "Then I'm a Jedi," and Yoda's like, "No, not yet. One thing remains: Vader." Confronting Vader, only then a Jedi will you be.
Yeah, it's not going to stun me if at some point Ahsoka says in the series that she is a Jedi.
Besides, who's around to knight Luke anyway?
That's another problem, isn't it?
It's more about passing a trial than it is about going through a ceremony, and I believe that this was Ahsoka passing a trial. The fact that she acknowledged that there was maybe some darkness in her,
Yeah, that she still needed
but she
to
overcame
get
it,
over
and that she
something.
wants to fight to live, not even for just her own sake, but she's trying
fight.
to exactly. In order to survive, in order to do the right thing, you have to fight, and she's acknowledging all of that. And I think that is her trial: live or die.
No, I agree. Like I said, I'm not going to be stunned if at some point she proclaims herself a Jedi. And or says that, yes, I'm a Jedi. Something is going to allude to the fact that she has embraced the title again.
Right.
Because she has upheld the ideals.
Right, because being a Jedi isn't just, I have the Force power, so I'm a Jedi. Because a lot of people, you find out, especially from the Old Republic books and stuff, a lot of people have the Force, or they worship or use the Force differently. Take the Night Sisters, for example. It's not just about having power. It's about embracing the training, embracing the culture that is the Jedi, the foundation of the group.
The principles. It's about the code. It's about all of it.
Yeah, and she decided she wasn't a card-carrying member. She didn't want to be associated with that organization because of how they wronged her.
Yeah.
All throughout, at the end of the Clone Wars, we saw her walk away from Anakin. We saw her leave the Order. Throughout Rebels, whenever they kind of said, hey, you're a Jedi, she's kind of like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a Jedi. She had that vision with Yoda, and Yoda kind of acknowledged that too. So it's not coming out of the blue that because she said I'm no Jedi just like once in the trailers or something, that she really isn't a Jedi because that's how she's chosen to think of herself. Whether she's upheld the testaments or not, she doesn't think of herself as a Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
But now that she's seen Anakin, reconciled, finished her quote-unquote training, passed her quote-unquote trials, I think she is back to being a Jedi. She's reconciled with that portion of herself and is ready to acknowledge herself as one again.
Yeah, like I said, she's going to say it at some point. She's going to say the thing.
You hope so.
Well, it's just my guess. It's not going to surprise me when it happens, I'll say that.
And the last one I thought was interesting was there was a question kind of asking, why do we still watch and talk about Star Wars when Disney's kind of proven that they don't always know what to do with the franchise? The movies, they've been, the Disney Plus shows, the whole thing has been a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's
an
understatement.
Even amongst the movies. Rogue One was great. Force Awakens, good. Last Jedi was a thing that happened.
Yeah, I guess, yes.
Rise of Skywalker tried to fix that thing.
It was...
Did its best.
Well,
I give it credit for trying.
It's...
Solo, not a bad movie. So we jump all over the place with how they've progressed in the movies, even in the Disney Plus shows. Mando, seasons 1 and 2, excellent. Book of Boba Fett, what happened? Season 3, is this trying to top how bad Book of Boba Fett was? Andor, raises the bar out of nowhere.
Andor, yeah.
Obi-Wan, how do you mess this up? In Ahsoka, which has really split the fan base. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, Ahsoka's been really... I don't know. I see most of the people I see kind of are positive towards it, but I know there's a whole section who are hating the show. So, and
I don't know if it's just a have I seen Rebels versus haven't I seen Rebels type of crowd, or what's going on, or why people are unhappy.
Why do I keep watching? Because I don't know. I love it. It's just
that you can love it even overlooking all of the Disney flaws.
Well, it's part of it is I want to continue to be a fan to try to hold them accountable. I try to be someone who is fair. I try to point out the good and the bad in the hopes that, you can keep Disney honest, that they will acknowledge us to some degree. They will listen to the fans and see what we actually like and see what we don't like. Because if you just complain about everything, then they're just going to stop trying, right?
Right. If you can never be pleased with anything, why would they? They have to know that what things they're doing right.
That's what I'm saying.
To look at those and go, okay, well, the fan base is positive about this. But if we
didn't like that,
close our minds off and say, well, it's Disney, so we have to say it's all garbage,
then they're not going to listen to you.
Why would they bother raising their standards or trying harder if they know that they're never going to please you, no matter what they do?
Yeah, if you have two groups where you have the fans who just praise everything because they just love and adore Star Wars and they don't want to think about it critically, which... I've criticized that before because you should have some standards, right? I understand you want to love Star Wars. I want to love it too, but you shouldn't be afraid to criticize it. And then you have the other side who just criticizes everything. Like, which side do you think they're going to listen to? Which side do you think Disney's going to try to appease? The side that'll just take anything, and so they're just going to make anything. So you need both sides to be like, you need the side that just wants to praise everything. They go, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Obi-Wan could have been better. It had some problems. And you need the side that wants to just hate on everything to say, okay, Ahsoka's got issues, but I can see why fans like it. There's some good there that we can work on. And if you bring those together, maybe we get some really good Star Wars someday again.
So would you say this channel is the one in the middle?
I don't want to be... People say that all the time about me, that I'm like the one in the middle. I don't try to be. I just tell you what I think.
You're trying to be open and fair, too.
Yeah. I understand, like, there are people who like certain things and don't like other things. Like, I don't know. I kind of look at it logically. We're never all going to agree that this is good or this is bad. So I just try to tell you what I think and tell you why I think that way and try to be, again, fair and honest about it. And
well, and you're open to conversation. When somebody comes up to you and says, well, I didn't like this for these reasons, it's a conversation. It's not an argument.
No, I'm not here to, like, argue, per se. I mean, if you want to have a spirited debate about things, yeah, we'll do that. But it'll be in good-natured, you know, it'll be civilized, even if it gets aggressive negotiations. But... You know, sometimes I have people who come to the other channel and they'll say, like, I love The Last Jedi. It's the greatest movie ever. I know they're trying to, like, provoke me, you know. I'll try to be like, well, tell me why. You know, let's talk about it. Why do you think that movie's so great? I'll tell you why I didn't think it was great. Let's have a conversation. I've actually had some good conversations that start with people who come at me very aggressively. And then I'm like, well, let's talk. I'll tell you my side. You tell me yours. That's how conversations work.
Well, and you might learn things you didn't know and see things from a different angle, and it's all good and fun.
Sure.
But yes, that's why we continue to watch and talk about Star Wars, regardless of whether Disney is smashing it out of the park or flushing it down the toilet.
Yeah, as I've said before, like, in my time of doing YouTube now, which is like 6 years at this point that I've been doing it, like, I have learned more about Star Wars just listening to other people, listening to what they think about it and why they feel a certain way, than I ever had just sitting by myself and thinking or watching it a million times. Like, yeah, I've learned a lot that way too. But it's like, it's amazing what you can learn when you actually listen to other people, even if you disagree with them. Anyway, I think that's all we got for you this time, right? Now it's your turn. Take to the comments below and tell us what you think of not today's news, because we didn't give you any. Tell us what you thought about anything we had to say here. And let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.